Yeah, I know you can't hear. Let me see if I can get the sound up on this. Stand by. Yeah, I know you can't hear.
Police and fire
Okay, how
to
about now?
unnecessary risk.
Let me know
They're
if you can hear
trained
it
for
now.
public safety, not to deal with these huge and occasionally dangerous animals. State law is completely inadequate. It's a patchwork on this issue. Some ban private
Can you
use,
guys hear
others
the
allow
guy
it with no
speaking?
questions asked. This is cruel
All right,
and dangerous.
wonderful.
Today, we're voting on a bill to change that. I appreciate my friend, Mr. Kirkpatrick, Mr. Quigley, people who've spent time advancing this issue. And finally, it's before us. It will restrict private ownership of big cats, reduce breeding, and help minimize abuse. As has been referenced and needs to be emphasized, this is narrowly focused on privately owned animals with appropriate exemptions for zoos and universities and sanctuaries. It can improve the lives of big cats and protect communities when things go wrong. These cats were never meant to be in captivity. Unlicensed ownership and breeding is bad for the animals, it's bad for the community, it doesn't advance conservation or education. I hope that we will vote today overwhelmingly to end the exotic pet trade in big cats and focus our efforts on real, meaningful conservation efforts at home and abroad. I think we were all just horrified by what we saw with the television series Tiger King. Sadly, one would think
Yeah,
that
we
that
were
would be
horrified
enough to
because
motivate
there was
the
a family
action.
out there that
Having worked on this
didn't get
issue
any
over the
help.
years, I
You're
had
right, we were
some
horrified.
opportunity to be familiar with some of the players. This is something that I hope now is finally going to end, and it can today with our vote. Thank you very much.
Gentleman from Hawaii.
Reserve the balance of my time.
Gentleman from Utah.
Reserve.
Gentleman reserves.
I'm prepared to
seeks time?
close, reserve the balance of my time.
I'm sorry. Could gentlemen speak up?
I'm prepared to close and reserve the balance of my time.
Is the gentleman from Utah ready to close?
Yeah.
Gentleman's recognized.
Thank you. All right, with apologies, Madam Speaker, lions and tigers and bears, oh my. I have to say that before somebody else does it. But we also have to realize, as we're going through the Kleinigkeiten of this day's efforts, that this is one of those Kleinigkeiten coming again here. And we should also realize that Oz was not reality, it was a movie, and that reality TV is not that of which should be the basis of public policy. This bill, contrary to what I've been hearing so far, is not about protecting the public from big cats. It is about hurting small, family-run zoos across the country. It is a power play of some kind, which is one of the reasons why the Zoological Association of America expressed their grave concerns with this bill in a very pointed letter addressed to the committee chairman, that this represents an unwarranted federal intrusion into the rights and responsibilities of wildlife exhibitors and will have significant negative impacts on federally licensed zoological facilities. Like, the issue is that under current law, anyone that has one of these exhibitions must obtain a Class C exhibitor license, and that is given by the United States Department of Agriculture under the Animal Welfare Act. So a licensee under the Animal Welfare Act has to abide by all the rules that govern housing and keeping and care of the animals and are subject to unannounced inspections under the direction of the Department of Agriculture. And it's doing its job. It's doing its job effectively and efficiently. This bill ignores all of that under the guise of, animal welfare, denying responsible federal licensed facilities, and predicating these Class C exemptions on animal rights ideology, not necessarily the policy of what has been taken during the past. What happens now is that this particular bill has special interest groups having drafted it now amend the Lacey Act, not the Animal Welfare Act, but the Lacey Act, and now have the Department of Interior being the ones who are responsible for what is going on here. So what is illegal now under the Lacey Act changes would be legal under the Animal Welfare Act, which is still going to be on the books. If nothing else, we should actually ask those people who are responsible for this bill just to come clean and try and make sure that they write the bill that is consistent so you don't have conflicting acts. You have conflicting policy with this. And this bill also provides some huge loopholes for big, well-funded zoos and will crush those small but well-regulated private facilities. That's not the way we should be running that particular policy. The smaller facilities are well regulated. It's done by the Department of Agriculture. There are specific rules and guidelines. The laws are specific and they are there. What this bill will do is put conflicting guidelines, which means pass this bill if you wish, but doesn't, well, very little chance of it actually going all the way, but even if you want to pass this bill, you're going to have to come back and fix the two because you have now two bills that are still on the books that are in conflict. So at least do it the right way. This bill was pushed by special interest groups. It's poor policy that is not backed by science, but it's backed by radical ideology, and it does not fit the reality of what is taking place. The Department of Agriculture is doing their functions properly and effectively and efficiently, and we should not pass this bill. With all the significant things we could be doing in a lame duck session, with all the stuff we could do with the pandemic, where both Republicans and Democrats in both the House and the Senate agree on so many things, so much low-hanging fruit, we could easily pass something that would have a major impact, something that would be real, or actually put the NDA on here and do something that's real, or actually come to an agreement on a CR at least, if not the resolutions of all our appropriations. That would be big. That would be sufficient. That would be worthy of us actually coming back here to the floor today. But instead, we are coming closer to 8 o'clock at night, dealing with the small stuff, the insignificant stuff that's not going to go further throughout the process, which I guess is one of the reasons I think we should be happy. At least we know this will be the last time that this will be discussed here in the Capitol building at any time. Like, as a Congress, we could do much better. We ought to do much better. We ought not to spend our time coming up here dealing with the Kleinigkeiten. With that, do you have any more speakers? In case
This
you're gonna
guy,
close?
he's not happy.
Then I'll yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Gentleman from Hawaii.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Appreciate, again, the comments from the ranking member, but I think he's out of step with the majority in this House, given the bipartisan nature of this particular legislation. A couple of quick points to answer some of his objections. First of all, as I mentioned earlier, the Zoological Association of America has withdrawn its opposition to this bill. The Zoological Association of America, contrary to his statement, is not opposed to this bill. Second, he talks about the guidelines by the USDA being sufficient. They are obviously not sufficient when the status quo across this country still has such a tremendous and deleterious impact on animal welfare, as well as presents a continued risk for public safety. And as was noted in some of the comments earlier, in fact, we have a patchwork of regulation across this country, whereas it's time for us to have one uniform standard across this country that would apply everywhere. He complains that this bill is a matter of just special interests. And I would submit if the special interests are those special interests that are concerned about the welfare of animals and are concerned about public safety, then those are good special interests to be aligned with. With that, I yield. I'm sorry, I reserve the balance of my time.
No, I was hoping he was going to
Gentleman
yield.
has yielded back. Gentleman from Hawaii. Does the gentleman wish to close and yield back? The gentleman from Utah yielded back.
Apologies. I yield the balance of my time.
Gentleman yields back. The question is, will the House suspend the rules and pass H.R. 1380 as amended? Those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. In the opinion of the chair, two-thirds being in the affirmative,
Speaker.
gentleman from Utah,
Okay, I ask for the yeas and nays.
pursuant to Section 3 of House Resolution
All right, here goes,
965, the
everybody.
yeas and nays are ordered. Pursuant to Clause 8 of Rule 20, further proceedings on this question are postponed. Pursuant to Clause 8 of Rule 20, the unfinished business is the vote on ordering the previous question on House Resolution 1244, on which the yeas and nays are ordered. The clerk will report the title of the resolution.
House Calendar Number 98, House Resolution 1244, a resolution
Oh, we have
providing
to go
for
through all
consideration of
these.
the bill H.R. 3884 to decriminalize and deschedule cannabis, to provide for reinvestment in certain persons adversely impacted by the war on drugs, to provide for expungement of certain cannabis offenses, and for other purposes.
Question is on ordering the previous questions. Members will record their votes by electronic device. You were fake.
Okay. Let me check. I'm going to see if I can get Felicia to come on. I talked to her just a little bit, but she's at a meeting of some sort right now. But when it's over, if I'm still on, she'll jump on here. Yes to cannabis. And hey, Barry, I guess we could look to see who's receiving, this guy from Hawaii, what he's received. And the guy from Utah had a good point. Of all the things that they could be voting on, there's some important issues out there that should be brought up and voted on. But instead, they're voting on
Lady from Washington State, rise.
other things.
As the member designated by Dr. Schreier, pursuant to HRES 965, I inform the House that Dr. Schreier will vote yes on the previous question.
All right, so I think I'll turn this off and leave it up on the screen over here in case something else pops up.
For what purpose does the gentleman from Massachusetts rise?
As a member designated by Mr. Welsh of Vermont pursuant to HRES 965, I inform the House that Mr. Welsh will vote yes on the previous question.
All right, I'm going to mute my microphone so I can make a phone call real quick.
For what purpose does the gentlelady from Illinois rise?
All right, well, I
As a
tried
member
to call
designated
the
by
person
Mr.
who
Rush
said they
pursuant to
would
HRES
come on this
965, I
evening,
inform the House that
but it
Mr.
went to
Rush will vote yes
voicemail.
on the previous
So
question.
I've sent a text, and let's see what happens, but I don't have my hopes up. And All right, so they're voting on something else right now. They wanted. I mean, it looked like they were getting ready to pass the Big Cat Safety Act. I mean, it sounded like it was going to be a yes, and they wanted a count for the yays and nays, and they are doing this other one first. And I don't know if they'll do. Actually, hold on. Hey Peggy, are you telling us when they're going to do the counts? Because this one right here is the one to decriminalize. 1244 is the one to decriminalize marijuana. Is that right? 1244. I think that's what this one is. Yeah, Peggy, and it sounded pretty close to me.
What purpose does the gentleman
But
from
it seemed
Tennessee
like
rise?
the lady up there said
Madam
that
Speaker,
it was
as the member designated by Mr.
to
Costa
affirm,
pursuant to H.
but
Res.
I don't know.
965, I inform the House that Mr. Costa
Maybe we can get
will vote yes on the
Peggy
previous
on a
question.
phone call with us. What do you think, Peggy? You want to come on? Peggy's been watching this stuff all day long. Yeah, all right. Come on, Peggy. Let's just... Peggy, you can come on since you've been watching this stuff all day. You can come on here and you can explain to everybody. Art Murphy, 420 in All America. Yeah, I mean, I don't see anything wrong with it. I mean, what would happen if everybody got high? Would they pass out? I mean, they're not going to be amped up,
What
going
purpose
around
does the
acting all
gentleman from
crazy,
Virginia
running
rise?
around naked.
As the member designated by Mr. Rooney,
I mean, I don't
pursuant to
think
H.R.
they would,
965, inform the House that
maybe
Mr.
some
Rooney will
people
vote
would.
no on the previous question.
All right, so
As the
whenever
member
you're ready,
designated by
Peggy,
Ms.
just
Moore,
call me.
pursuant to H.R. 965, I inform the House that Ms. Moore will vote yes on the previous question. As the member designated by Ms.
And
Barragan,
I've
pursuant to
here,
H.R.
let me get,
965, I inform the House that Ms. Barragan will vote yes on the previous question. As the member designated by Mr. Cohen, pursuant to H.R. 965, I
wish
inform
I
the
didn't
House that
have to
Mr.
wear
Cohen will vote
glasses.
yes on the previous question. As the member designated by Mr. Lowenthal, pursuant to H.R. 965, I inform the House that Mr. Lowenthal will vote yes on the previous question. As the member designated by Mr. Liu, pursuant to H.R. 965, I inform the House that Mr. Liu will vote yes on the previous question.
Oh, you know what? So I've heard different reports about
What
candy
purpose does the
today,
gentleman from New York rise?
and
The
that
member
maybe,
designated by Chairwoman Eddie Bernice Johnson pursuant to H.R.S. 965, I inform the House that
maybe she
Chairwoman Johnson will vote
received
yea on the
upwards of
previous question.
400 or so
The member designated by
stitches.
Chairwoman Zoe Lofgren pursuant to H.R.S. 965,
That's a
I inform
lot
the
of
House that
stitches. I
Chairwoman
mean,
Lofgren
60 to
will
70
vote yea on the
stitches
previous question.
is a lot.
The member designated by
So if it's
Chairman Jerry
over
Nadler
400,
pursuant to H.R.S. 965, I inform the House that
gosh.
Chairman Nadler will vote yea on the previous question. The member designated by Congressman Jose Serrano pursuant to H.R.S. 965, I inform the House that Congressman Serrano will vote yea
Brandy
on the
Hall, I
previous
don't know
question.
what.
As the member
well, I know
designated by Congressman
C-SPAN
Brendan
does
Boyle
it, but you
pursuant to
can go
H.R.S. 965, I inform the House that
to
Congressman Boyle will vote yea on the previous question.
like house.gov or congress.gov.tv or something like that, and pull it that way. That's how I pulled it up. Just look up.
What purpose does the gentleman
hold
from
on, I'll tell you
California rise?
what.
Oh,
live.house.gov. So that's how you can pull it up and watch it for free. Yeah, or go watch C-SPAN. If you don't have C-SPAN, you can go watch it online because these are did I pause it?
Madam Speaker, as member designated by
These are
Congressmember
tax
Napolitano,
dollars.
pursuant
So
to
we
House
should be able to
Resolution
monitor this stuff
965,
and not have to
I
actually
wish
be
to inform
there.
the House that Congressmember Napolitano will vote yes on the
They
previous
haven't
question.
voted on it yet. They're going to come back to it apparently, but I don't know when they will. All right, hygienic options says Candy lost an arm. Did she actually lose it, or were they able to save it? Do we know for sure one way or the other yet? No, this is not the vote for that bill. This is the vote for cannabis. This is a different one right now. I'm going to wait. I think Peggy's doing her hair and makeup. Oh, you guys can still hear this, can't you? Mike Blackburn says this guy is a knob. I don't know if he's talking about the guy on on the floor or if he's talking about me. Oh gosh. Well, they're
What
not
purpose does the gentleman from Arizona rise?
Yeah, they're not talking
As
right
the member
now. Nosy.
designated by Ms. Kirkpatrick pursuant to HRES 965, I inform the House that Ms. Kirkpatrick will vote yes on the previous question.
Yeah, this is 1244. This is the cannabis stuff here. This is not the Big Cat Act. Here we go. Hold on here.
California, right? What purpose does the gentleman from California rise?
Is the member designated by Dr. Barra pursuant to House Resolution 965? I inform the House that Dr. Barra will vote yes on the previous question.
Hi.
What purpose does the gentlelady from California rise?
Madam Speaker, as a member designated by Mr. DeSaulnier pursuant to HRES 965, I inform the House that Mr. DeSaulnier will vote yes on the previous question.
For what purpose does the gentleman from Oregon rise?
As a member designated by Mr. Lipinski pursuant to House Resolution 965, I will inform the House that Mr. Lipinski will vote yes on the previous question.
For what purpose does the gentleman from Missouri rise?
All right, so we got someone on the phone that was over in the area of Big Cat Rescue today. Hey, are you still on the phone? I am. Oh, hold on. I got to get this turned up. Okay, now we're trying. All right, so you went over to Big Cat Rescue today, is that right?
Yes.
Were you able to get inside the facility?
No, I was only able to get as close as the Courtyard Marriott and their parking lot.
Okay, the parking lot, that would be back. There's a back entrance to Big Cat Rescue back there. Also, did you see anyone go in and out from that area where you were at?
I did not see anybody come or go, but I did notice that it looked like the news people were just waiting on that. Like they were waiting on people to come and go, maybe someone in particular, but I never seen anybody come or go, and I was there for about 2 hours.
Okay. Did you see any EMS workers or fire department or any
Nope.
law enforcement people?
Nope. No police, no ambulance, no fire department, just the news stations. There was a couple of them sitting in chairs out there, a couple of them doing interviews. There was a picture somewhere of the newsstand, so I could tell you like which ones were there.
So how many different news media people do you think were there?
There was a few different ones. I know Bay News 9 was there. ABC Action News was there. I'm trying to look at the picture right now. I'm sorry. To try to see which ones. There's a lot of these cars that were with the news today that were unmarked.
Unmarked cars? So, and they were media people?
I believe that they were.
Okay. Did you happen to see anybody wearing a Big Cat Rescue shirt? Like anyone wearing green or orange or red shirts, anything like that? No.
No, I didn't already come out of Big Cat Rescue today. I did notice that the jogging trail remained open.
Okay.
People continued their workouts as normal.
Okay. But so all you just saw media people camped out, and were they parked around over there by that Marriott also?
Yeah, they were parked right by the entrance to Big Cat Rescue.
Okay.
And they were lined up down all the way down.
Okay, so they had their cameras and their vehicles and all that stuff out there, but you didn't really see anybody going in and out of Big Cat Rescue?
No.
Okay.
I did not.
All right. Was it scary when you were over there? Could you hear cats or, like big cats or anything? You hear it? I've never heard them over there.
No, it was pretty calm, pretty quiet. Other than all the news and the media out front, it was just a normal day as far as being outside the gates of Big Cat Rescue. It was just a normal day, like the vibes were normal, other than once you get up on the entrance, you start seeing all this media and stuff like that. But I didn't see one police officer, not a single one, in the 2 hours that I was there. I'm not really sure why. I find that odd, but...
Well, maybe they went in through... I know there's another entrance around back that has a gate that has like a code or something. I know there's like 3 different entrances to that place. There's the main entrance, and then there's the one over by the Marriott, and then there's one other over there someplace. So maybe they went in and out of that one. I don't know. I'm not real sure.
Possible.
But there should have been someone from Florida Fish and Wildlife or someone there, but maybe not. Hold on, I gotta shut this off. My phone's going nuts, as it always does. Hold on here. All right, still there?
I am.
All right, great. Oh, I think I turned that off. Okay, so you were over there for 2 hours and you didn't see anything out of the ordinary.
No, other than just the media trucks and media vans.
Okay, I'll just give you an update. I guess they're voting right now. I don't know if you're a cannabis user or not, but it does look like maybe that vote might pass. So they might decriminalize cannabis, but I don't know the details of that. But there's a lot of people that seem to be excited about that. But I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there because there's a lot of people that use cannabis. I really don't because it makes me sleepy. But I could if I wanted to legally. But not everyone can.
Right.
So, okay, well, I appreciate the update, although there wasn't really an update because there wasn't anything going on over there except for media. That's all you could see, right?
Yeah, and like I said, I sat over there for like 2 hours, at least 2 hours, and I only saw media.
Right.
That's it. There was no fire rescue, no Big Cat Rescue employees, volunteers. Were we able to find out if Carol was here today or if she was up in, or was it D.C.?
I don't know if she's in D.C. or not. I'm not sure where she was or is.
Wow.
I don't know. But it is interesting that you didn't see any law enforcement that's, yeah, it's really something. So,
There was only one cop I saw on Citrus Park Drive, and it was over there by the mall. And he ended up taking a left-hand turn. He wasn't even going that way. That was the only time I saw a cop in the whole 2 hours I was over there. And I wasn't over there too much later than after it happened. So it's kind of weird.
Yeah, that's interesting. So you went over there. Okay, let me ask you, were you over there when I was doing my live today?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I would expect that you would have seen something. I would have just expected to see some type of Florida Fish and Wildlife or someone, but maybe they went another place. I don't know.
And then I was noticing, too, that on some of the news stations and stuff I was able to see online, that they were not putting up a lot of different, like they didn't catch anybody coming in or coming out. Like, I didn't even see a clip of the ambulance taking her to the hospital.
Yeah,
so I imagine that there was no one there to record it.
Yeah, I think that happened at 8:47 or something like that. I don't know why my phone didn't. For people that are listening, they can hear my phone. This is what my phone does, constant. It goes off like this. So when I tell people my phone's blowing up with stuff, this is what my phone does all day. You can't hear it, but people listening can hear it. It's never ending, but anyway. All right, well, I'm going to check my phone. Thank you for calling in. I appreciate it, and I guess we'll talk to you later.
All right, sounds good. Thank
All right,
you.
bye-bye. Okay, so that was someone that was over there for 2 hours, and they didn't see any law enforcement at all over there. Okay, here we go. I'm just gonna call Peggy. Peggy, I'm just gonna call you and talk to you so you can get us caught up on what's going on with the. Hey, you're live on the air.
How are you?
I'm all right. Did you hear me?
Okay, let me turn my sticker down.
I didn't mute.
I can hear you now.
Okay, I didn't mute the microphone or anything. So we're live. You've been watching this stuff on C-SPAN like all day. Catch us up. What's going on with the vote?
Well, for a while it was very, very slow, and they had 1 minute speeches for 15 people on each side of the aisle, and they had the opportunity to yield their time. Some of them blew through so fast, it seemed like for a while they were going really slow, and then all of a sudden it was like 10, 12 minutes to 20 minutes, and they were going on to the next bill. What I see is there's like 4 that are pending out of the 23 that were up for a vote today. Nick, how many did you say there were? There's 229 currently. There's 229 representatives there voting out of how many? Out of 435.
Oh, so they probably won't even. They probably won't even get to the final.
Well, I think they'll vote on those that are actually there.
Yes.
I don't know if some people are allowed to vote virtually or if they have to be there on the floor to vote. I am assuming they go by what's there.
Yeah. All right. So when you were watching it and you heard the yays and the noes, could you tell? I mean, could you get a sense of if there were more noes than yeses, or could you tell at all?
I feel that there was plenty of both, and I think that's why they asked for an actual count, because you couldn't really tell between the two of them.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And with the one representative that was opposing everything, and he was adamant that it was going to be electronically voted so they can get an actual count of yes or no, which I think is a good idea.
I do too.
Instead of just going by majority.
Yeah, I do too. Because you
and
want
I think the points that he brought up are really good. That it's, hurting the small
yes
businesses.
Right. It does seem that seems to be. Matter of fact, well, I'll read it later. What someone sent to me. but it does seem to target the small businesses. And of course, right now, small businesses are suffering immensely because of the pandemic. So this would hurt more small businesses, I think. And okay, Felicia's here. So Felicia, are you done with your current meeting? I'm gonna have Felicia come on because she understands the cages and the type of cages that were out there that Candy was injured in, and I would love to have her talk.
Yeah, her reply the other day to this I thought was beautifully stated.
Yes. So okay. So I'm gonna get her on here. So do you think later they're gonna do the electronic vote on this evening?
I think they'll show it as they go. There's 4 of these to go through that were not that they want the election. Well, one of them, the 6395, I don't remember which one that is, but they want a unanimous vote. They won't pass it unless it's unanimous. So whatever one that is, I doubt that will go through today.
Okay. So
As
we
my
could
husband
be
tried to explain, they go to these committees, it comes out of committee, it goes to a vote, and it's either nixed on the floor today, or it goes back to be reworded, reworked, and then brought again. Well, it doesn't have to go back to the floor. From there, they take what's from the Senate and from the House because they each have their own bill, and if they're not worded exactly, then they form a committee between the 2 of those and then come to an agreement, and then it's sent on to the president. So, but it has to be passed, like this one has to be passed, the Senate has to be passed, or one, if they're not worded exactly right or exactly the same, then they have to work together to try to come up with the same wording before it goes to the president to be signed.
okay. All right. So it could be another 45 minutes to an hour before we get
Well,
to.
this is only the House. Now, the Senate, it looks like they haven't even formed a committee for this yet.
Oh, all right.
So this still has a long way to go.
Yeah, it does. All right. But this would be a good first step if it got opposed here, though.
Right. If it could be nixed today, I mean,
Yeah.
that's the end of it. So
Right. Yes.
that's what we're hoping for.
Right. Okay. I'm going to call Felicia and talk with her. So
Awesome.
thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Have a good night.
All right. You too. Bye-bye. So that was Peggy. Peggy is an awesome person who is I would say super sleuth. I'm just going to say it. And let me get Felicia here. All right, Felicia, I'm going to shoot you my number so you can call me because it will be I think it'll sound better. So I'm going to shoot you my phone number right now. And yeah, Heather, we can ask her to see if she has any contact with Joe today. If he knows about the attack over at Big Cat Rescue. I would assume he knows by now that it has happened. And we're just waiting on Felicia to call, which I've wanted to talk to her for a long time, and here we go. Perfect. Felicia.
Hi.
Hello. Thank you for coming on here because I know you're at an important event for probably some friends of yours. So thanks for taking time out of your evening to come on.
You're
here.
welcome.
And then just so everybody knows, not everybody knows who you are, but can you tell the people watching what your history with animals is?
So I am 3 and 9 generations of animal trainer, and I was one of the youngest females to ever work with big cats and to train. So obviously I've been a target of Carol's since I was I think 13 was when it started, 14.
Not only were you a target of Carol's, there was someone else that was following you around dressed up in a CVS shirt. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's for another day, I think. But I mean, I was glad that you took pictures of that because that was kind of crazy when you see it.
Yeah, and I live streamed that too. It went on for a lot longer than my live streams were. I think it was 2-3 hours before they finally removed him.
That's crazy. And removed him, we're talking about Howard Baskin was, I mean, they finally removed him from the place where you were at.
Yeah, so for Howard, when he came to the fair, I guess he was there all day. I mean, everyone saw him, but nobody knew it was him because he was dressed like a CVS pharmacist or a CVS employee. Like, he had a CVS pharmacy shirt, a hat on. And Joe wasn't personally there, but his, like, setup was, so obviously his people don't know exactly what Howard looks like. We didn't really pay much mind to it, but it's obvious when someone hangs around all day that they're watching you, they're an activist. And then it wasn't until the cops came after he, like, shoved my dad and me that we found out it was him, because he handed his ID to the officer, we handed ours, and the officer gave us his license back instead of ours. And that's when we saw it was Howard Baskin, because we still didn't even know when we were at the cars. Like, we know who Carol is, we see her all the time, but Howard, we didn't know. And then when he took off his hat, and then we saw, and they pulled, he had something covering his license plate, he had a towel. And so when they pulled that off, the license plate said, like, Big Cat something, or it was, I think it might have been the BCR.
Wow.
BCR and then a number.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Okay, so this morning at Big Cat Rescue, there was an attack, and I don't know anything about these cages. I don't know how these cages work, but I saw a comment on your Facebook where you talked about these guillotine cages or something. Can you explain what these cages are like that this volunteer got it? They were not in the cage, right? They're just reaching
no, so they
in.
weren't inside the cage. Guillotine doors are like any of the doors that you use to, like, kind of shift animals in and out of. So I haven't been to Carol's in a very long time, but I've seen a lot of facilities kind of do similar. And Joe actually had, like, a similar system where you would have to reach in to pull either a chain or something, or to pull a bar. So doors can either be, like, drop-down doors or slide-in doors. And so, like, my doors are built on a track with a very long, like, handle. So your hand actually never even goes, like, it doesn't go into the cage. It doesn't go close to the cage. So you push it and you pull in order to open the cage in and out. Her doors, from what my understanding from their press release that they put out, is that she has to physically reach her whole entire arm into the cage to be able to pull it, to either shut it or open it. And the way that they were claiming from, like, a statement that they actually put out was that she wasn't supposed to reach in there, and it was supposed to be, like, you're supposed to do it with a second keeper, and it's only when an animal is, like, in a separate area, so meaning, like, it's already shifted down the chute. So it might have been a very long tunnel, because I think they have tunnels that kind of go through caging to be able to rotate them into the bigger cages from the smaller ones, even though they're all kind of small. Yeah, just gonna throw that one out there. There's, like, two large cages, but anyway, so from what it sounded like, she had to reach through to grab, and that's not a safe enclosure. You should never have to reach inside of a cage to shift an animal, to close a door, to operate anything on the caging. And, like, that's why she's pushing the Big Cat Safety Act, because she claims that they run the safest. They know it. Basically, if they know it all, they do the safest, and they have the highest standards. But if they did, you would have not have designed a cage where anyone, regardless of if you weren't supposed to do it when an animal was shifted into that area, it should have never been created. And if it was, it should have been changed. And that's kind of what happened at Joe's. It was the same thing. She reached in, the way the doors were designed was that you had to either, like, sometimes I've seen them, like, do the stick to pull it across, or, like, to pull the chain, because sometimes the chain would slip through, so you'd have to reach and grab it.
Yeah.
And it takes one mistake, but the doors, you know, there's so many other ways to make the doors that it was just pointless, and it's kind of, at this point, stupidity.
Yeah, so if you had $45 million at your disposal, would you have cages where people had to reach their hand? Well, let me ask you this. You don't have cages like that, right?
No.
So
mine are all long handles that the doors push and pull, and your hand never enters, and your hand can't even fit through the way the handle is built to, like, continue on. It has a stopper on it, so it only pushes so far against the cage.
And you didn't need some kind of law passed to use common sense to have something set up that way, correct? I mean, it's...
Correct, yeah. We've had it. Our doors have been this way for 15, 20 years between both of my facilities. So, like, we even have, in Illinois, we have drop-down doors, which is kind of common in zoos. but ours aren't like heavy duty metal drop down doors on like our main ones, but it's basically kind of like a pulley system. So again, you're not inside the cage, you're pulling like a rope or a metal line, and then the door kind of goes up and down.
Okay. Have you?
And those are built so you can be at a distance. So like you can drop a door from 20, 30 feet away.
So you're out away from one of these large
So there's
cats.
so many other systems. So like my facility, even though I'm the only one aside from my parents who take care of my big cats, the way it's designed to be able to shift and like rotate the tigers and work with them and to feed them, nobody ever enters it like enclosure, or they don't have to work anything. So they can be shifted, divided. They can go into separate chutes and lockouts by themselves. And same thing like with their feed slots. Their feed slots are only a hole cut out just enough that you can slide a pan through. The cat can't reach out. The cat can't grab you.
Okay. And these are common sense things when you're in that industry. I mean, to me, this seems so simple. Like, what's really ironic is you have someone that's been going up to Washington, D.C. to get some kind of law passed, and they have someone that gets attacked at their facility, and this person's reaching their hand into a cage. I don't know. That just seems silly to me that.
Yeah. And for someone who's been doing it this long, it's something you should know. I mean, we make changes constantly to our enclosures, but for the last 15 to 20 years, all of our doors have operated that way. The same thing for our transport trailers. In order to separate and to divide cats, it has sliding dividing doors, one door on each side. And so I think there's 4 or 5 stalls inside the trailer, and none of it you have to reach a hand in. Same thing for like the big doors that slide across to let the tigers out into their main compound. That actually has, because my fencing is a big square, which tigers, yes, can reach their arms out. And that area where you have to go up against, like anywhere near the cage to be able to pull the handle, and anywhere within 5 feet, that has a completely secondary fencing, so they can't reach anything through there. So if you're going up and you're like within a 5 feet proximity, they can't reach out because of that.
Okay.
So that those are all things that should be on those chutes if the people are really having to be that close in order to work a door.
I've seen pictures of you with these cats. And I normally don't ask questions if I don't know the answer, but I haven't got to talk to you on the phone at all. But when you take pictures with these cats, they look like they're friendly. You don't look like you're scared of them. Do you have a relationship, like an individual relationship with your cats?
Yeah, so my oldest tigers are 22, so they've been with me 22 years. I have 2 of them, and I was raised with them. I was about 5 or 6 when we got them, and then all the other big cats are tigers that I personally raised, so I hand raised them. I was either there when their mother birthed them and helped co-raise with the mother, or I hand raised them myself. They're tigers that came either from different facilities, and I raised them in the house with me. I lived with them. They sleep in my bed. I'm with them 24/7 for the first year of their life completely. And then when they move out, then I still spend time with them. It's just not the 24/7 interaction, because then they're integrating with the rest of the group.
Uh-huh.
So, but I'm with my cats pretty much almost 24/7.
So when they're 1, how old is that, like in dog years? Would they be teenagers when they're like 1, or what's
So tigers in captivity, they can live to be 20 to 25. It's just super rare if they live to be 20, 25. So my girl's being 22, about to be 23. They're like seniors. So about
Okay.
1 is like kind of when they're like, I would say like almost preteen.
Okay. So when they're between 1 and 2, that's when they're teenagers.
Yeah. So
And
like so they sexually mature at about 5.
Okay.
So at 5 is when they can breathe. They start to be sexually mature. And that's usually when they become full grown. They can still kind of put on weight throughout their entire life, but about 5 is kind of when they've hit their like peak.
Okay. So when you grow up with them, when they're born and then you're there that first year, that's kind of like being with a child during their, elementary, their grade school, junior high, and part of high school life. Like you're bonding with these animals. They trust you. And then you can probably walk into a cage with all of your animals, I would assume, and not be scared.
Yeah, I go in with, I have 7 total, so all 7 of them at one time.
And do you ever think that if you were going to go in that, and the reason I'm asking this is because on one of these on Dateline, when they showed a clip of Carol, there was a black, I think it was a panther behind her, and she said something, if I go in there, that thing will rip me to pieces or something like that. Do you ever feel that way towards your cats? Like they would hate you enough to rip you to pieces?
No. I spend so much time with my cats. I'm not a stranger to my cat, and I'm also their only caretaker. So she has numerous different not even employees, they're volunteers who she doesn't even know that's working for her. And these people are in charge of walking around apex predators. They might not be in charge of shifting them in and out, but they're still walking between barriers. They're walking through cages. They're coming near these animals, and I could never have a facility where I had no idea who were watching or being around my animals.
Right, because if a stranger comes into my house, not a stranger to me, but a stranger to my cats, and I've only had these cats for like 2 months, but if someone comes in and they don't recognize the voice, they are scared and they're out hiding. They're like, boom, I'm out of here. I don't know what that voice is. I don't know who that person is. Now, if this was a big giant tiger, I don't think the tiger's really going to run, or if you're in a little cage, you have no place to go. You're stuck, and you have this stranger here, and I guess it would be scary for a cat and dangerous for a human when you don't have interaction with these cats. That's it's I don't know much about this.
And with her not being their sole caretaker, one of the biggest things when you work hands-on with an animal is having kind of sole caretakers. The people who take care of them are the people that will take care of them basically for life, especially when you're working hands-on. But her leopard, I don't know if her leopard is still alive, the one that she originally bought for her daughter Jamie as a pet years ago. But that leopard was a hands-on leopard. It lived in the house. It did all these things. Now, I don't know if that's the one. I don't know if he's still alive. I can't remember. But all of this comes from if you don't spend time with your animals. So, I'm not necessarily saying, if I took in a 20-year-old tiger tomorrow or a 15-year-old tiger tomorrow, that, I would go in the cage with them. But I'm pretty sure that's the leopard that she actually hand-raised.
Okay.
So for an animal to, want to, but I think her, when she comes out and, she does her filming and stuff, and I see cameras, follow her and she walks around the cages, the way her cats act aren't like cats. They're like, oh, my God, it's Mom, it's our caretaker. They're more happy to see the volunteers and staff. And that alone kind of shows you how much time somebody really spends, one-on-one with their animals, checking through their animals. Because I work at I go and help facilities that have multiple big cats. And all of us still every day go up to every single cat, even if that's not even the animal in your department, just as an owner, and you check to make sure, that cat doesn't look good over there. That one looks like he's looking a little lethargic. Things that your volunteer of the week is not going to pinpoint.
Yeah, I get it. If you're going to have these cats, there's feeding them and housing them. That's one thing. And of course that's important, but they're social animals, and part of caring for them is spending time with them. I would think. I know I have 2 German Shepherds. Well, I have 3, but I have 2 that are guard dogs. And of course, I don't let anyone around them, and nobody would go around them either unless I was there. But even when I'm there, I'm pretty nervous because everybody's a stranger to these 2 dogs. Now, if I didn't go out and spend time with them, then eventually I would probably be scared to go around them, because their job is to protect their area. Now, these cats, don't they protect, their instinct is to protect their area? Don't they have territories that they have?
Yeah. So their enclosures is considered their territory. So anyone who works hands-on and does training, so for me, when I do training with them, they're not being trained inside their enclosure. They have a secondary area that's made like strictly for like training, because that area is like their home, that's their territory. I still go in there and hang out with them and stuff,
Right.
but I don't do any type of like training where, you know, they have to pay attention to where they're sitting and where they're walking, and that's where you always train in the secondary area that's not their home, their territory.
In their safe, like their safe spot.
Yeah, so like, and then it also distinguishes like, oh, and here's playtime, and here, you know, it's, oh, we got to make sure, you know, we're not running around where we can knock somebody over, like.
Right.
So it's just having those two different areas.
Right. I get it. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. And I don't know much about these cats. I'm learning a little bit, but a lot of this stuff seems like common sense stuff with, you know, even a dog. Like if someone stuck their hand through during the day where my dogs are kept, these two German Shepherds, if someone stuck their hand through the fence, it's not going to be good. It's not going to turn out good. And these aren't wild animals, but it's the same type thought process that, you know, people, especially with these two dogs, people don't need to be around these dogs. They especially don't need to stick their hands in a fence. But I can't imagine if I had these large cats and I owned this place that is called Big Cat Rescue, I would make sure that my workers and volunteers would never have to stick their hands inside of a cage to feed these animals. I mean, every day you're just asking for an accident to happen. I mean,
it's crazy. And then from their own statement that they put out on their Facebook page, it wasn't very sincere. It like right away went to blaming the keeper. But at the same time, you were the owner, you created, you designed these things. That should have never, ever been an option. Like, it's one thing, mistakes happen at every facility. You know, people leave cages unlocked, animals get out, things like that. But this was something that was built in a very dangerous. If she wasn't supposed to be the employee who's doing it, it should not be how you're doing it at all. And then they stated how there was a clip on a cage, and when that clip is on the cage, it means a tiger's in that area. Why would you have a clip? Every zoo and facility that I know of that has anything like that where the staff can like enter or rotate, if they lock an animal onto the yard, they put a lock that only one keeper has the key to. So even if someone was to open up those all secondary enclosures, the tiger cannot enter into that area because they can't pull the door because it's locked.
right.
So the fact that she had a clip hanging on a cage, like, all of this is like human error and stupidity, and not, you know, if she actually took, and like, we all learn these different things from different facilities because we network. So we go to conventions together, you know, you talk to different head keepers, people reach out, oh, hey, how are you doing this at your facility, blah, 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 you know, hey, we want to change this. She doesn't do that. She doesn't communicate and network with other facilities. And there's several other facilities that are accredited like her, that GFAS accreditation, that have the same type of like style caging where you have to like reach through. So I saw there was one, I think in California, I want to say it's in California, and they have to like reach through with a pole or something. And it's stupid. All you have to do is build a track on a door, like a door on a track, and you slide it in. So it's like, you think it's common sense, but apparently it's not.
Right. Now, I'm going to have to defend Carol on something. And this is going to come as a surprise, but this clip on the clip being the universal sign or whatever, in college, me and some of my buddies, if there was a sock on the doorknob, that meant do not come in the room. Like, that meant do not. So, I mean, I get it. The clip would be, you know, that's a universal sign, like the sock on the doorknob. But I mean, no, really, this clip thing it's ridiculous. It is like putting a sock on the doorknob, and you're like, hey, if there's a sock on the doorknob, don't come in. I mean, it's
there's a tiger on the other side of this door that's going to kill you.
Right. You can come in if you want, but there was a sock on the door. It's your fault for coming in. But here's the thing also is at the end of that little release that they put out, they talked about this is why the Big Cat Public Safety Act should be passed. Like, they used this accident as a way to try to scare the public into calling representatives. And I have a statement from a volunteer who was out there which I will put up at a later date, that they talk about this accident and then tell people to call your representatives and get this act passed, which is, I think it's a low blow. I mean, that's just my opinion.
Yeah, especially considering they are one of the two types of facilities exempt. So we're going to pass a law because one of the two facilities exempt got someone's arm ripped off.
Right, I know. Now, Sherry DeWald wants me to ask you that this is your opinion, okay? That I'm going to ask you a question, and it's based on your opinion, and everybody's entitled to their own opinion. But Sherry says she wants me to ask you, would you put it past Carol that Carol would set something up like this and then it went further than expected?
I mean, honestly, it's like a really crazy coincidence that it happened today, but at the same time, I kind of feel in a way it could be karma, and it's really unfortunate. But this has been something that's kind of been waiting to happen for a very long time. And it's not the keeper's fault, it's the keepers being trained, the volunteers being trained by inexperienced people who were trained by an inexperienced owner. Carol never had any real experience to be handling these big cats. She was a breeder. She got these as pets. It didn't work out. So just because you own a big cat doesn't necessarily mean you know how to take care of it. Whereas a lot of us, like my family has been in the zoo field for many years. They've done this for 39 generations. So over 100 years on my mother's side of the family. So honestly, I think it was kind of karma. And at the same time, this has been something waiting to happen. And I'm pretty sure back in the day when she was Easy Street, I thought she did get somebody. I don't remember if it was their arm bit off or if it was attacked, but I remember someone had like reached through a cage, and there was a really big incident right before she changed her name.
There was quite a few incidents or accidents from what I recall, and I haven't had time to go look for my paperwork because there is a sheet that I have that has name after name after name and what happened, like the one person that got scalped, and then I think Daniel got his ear ripped off or something. I mean, there's a lot of accidents that have happened, but yeah, this could have been a publicity stunt gone wrong. I mean, that's what people in the comments are saying. I mean, I hate to think that it was, but man, it makes me wonder, and other people are wondering also, if I mean, and
it's just, I mean, it's a really crazy timing.
Oh
but
man!
Like I said, I mean, in a way, it's almost karma, and I never wish bad upon anybody, especially keepers that they don't know. They think they're doing good. They think they're doing what their bosses are telling them to do. And especially, I looked at the picture of that lady. She's a very older lady, so I can only imagine what her recovery is going to be if it really did pull the arm completely off, if they're even going to be able to attach that. And the fact that if it did pull it all the way off from the shoulder, like I'm hearing, her entire arm was inside of there. There's no way she just had her wrist in there reaching through. She had to have been reaching her entire shoulder through. Because when a big cat's going to bite you, if they're grabbing you by the wrist, odds are they're going to take that part. They're not going to detach you completely from the shoulder unless they bit you that high up.
I see. Well, what I've heard is she had 3 broken bones and 400 to 500 stitches. So she had that many stitches, then I believe they're probably trying to save the arm.
Yeah, they said that they put it on ice. They said they put it on ice packs to try to save the arm. So I don't know if that means they tried to wrap her arm in ice packs or the arm detached and they got it back and they tried to put it on ice.
Right. Oh gosh, Sherry wants me to ask you another question. Ask her what Rinky said. Saf told people, Saf, he wasn't supposed to get hurt that bad. I don't know what this is. I know what it's about, but I don't know if you have any information about that or not.
About Saf's arm at Joe's?
Yes.
Was she asking about like how he got bit?
No, it's ask her what Rinky said that Saf told people that he wasn't supposed to get hurt that bad. So I don't know what
Oh,
she's
yeah,
talking
like-
about.
Like, yeah, because it was it was talked about like Joe had planned that.
What
Or
would,
no, not that Joe had planned it, but like that Sass did it. Like that. So it was like rumored that like somebody convinced that like to do that, to like reach in the cage to do it or to get bit to cause an issue at Joe's. So like that's been talked about quite a bit. That it
okay,
wasn't so like that somebody from the outside convinced
like
him
a
to get hurt, like to get bit. So it wasn't necessarily like, oh, get your entire arm ripped off, but it was talked about that.
all right. So I think this goes along with somebody sent me something earlier today, which I shared with Nosy and Carrie about an outside group paid someone to get injured at a facility. And maybe this is what they were talking about, but I have not had time to look into it. So the rumor is that someone outside of Joe's place wanted an accident to happen at Joe's place, and it turned into something a lot worse than
Yeah. So it was rumored that either like
right. And
illegally he can't say their name, but they start with a P and they're an activist foundation. It was rumored between them and Carol that it was a possibility. I mean,
Okay.
it's something like I said, so I don't get sued. There's no proof, but it was definitely rumored because he definitely went around saying it wasn't supposed to be that bad.
so now, were you told this, or you were told by someone else? So it was just secondhand information.
This was like talk through the park. So
Okay,
like,
I got
I
you.
was around before. I want to say before he lost his arm. Like I think it was before I had met Joe, and I remember after like being at the park, and that was like the talk around. I mean, I didn't hear directly from him, but that's what I guess he was telling other employees. Like he made the comment, like it wasn't, or to other people that it wasn't supposed to be that bad. And then that's when like things started talking, like that he did it purposely. So either he did it purposely because somebody paid him to it, or he did it purposely because he wanted to get hurt too. Like there were so many different things it could have been.
Right. That's the rumor. And just so we're clear, you did say rumor. I just want to confirm.
Yeah.
These are rumors. Yeah, it's just a rumor. That's very interesting because I did hear something like that, but they didn't give me any names. But I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna put two and two together, and I'm gonna guess that's what it was about because. It was right after this morning I had said that they were going to come on my channel this evening. So that's why I got it. But yeah, that's very interesting. All right, Sherry, thank you for your questions. Thank you for trying to get people in trouble. Sherry's good at getting people in trouble. She's good at spending other people's money on telling people that someone's going to be buying drinks for everybody. She's really good at stuff like that. But all right, Felicia, anything else you want to add? I've had you on for quite a while, and I really appreciate it. But is there a website, a Facebook page, a Twitter? Is there a place out there where people can find you?
So yeah, I have two Facebooks, but my main one that's kind of public. It's usually the one that's always posted in the group.
Okay.
It's the Felicia Friscia Facebook page.
Okay.
So that's usually where I post any of like the public stuff where I talk about Carol and stuff, so people can share.
Okay.
And then like my other social media is gonna be like on Instagram and stuff. I think it's Teen Tiger Mom 93 or Tiger Encounter.
Teen Tiger Mom 93.
Yeah.
All right, and that's on Instagram.
Yeah, that's Instagram and YouTube. But I do my main posting is going to be on that Felicia Friscia Facebook page.
Okay, and can you spell
So
that
that
because
has all
people are going to be looking it up. So it's
so there's a follow button that they can push.
Okay.
So they don't have to do the friend request because I'll end up getting over my limit.
Yes.
But there's a follow button that you can do so you can follow all my posts. So anytime I update, it'll come in your newsfeed like you're following me. And that has like, if you go on there and you just scroll back or like look in the photos of the screenshots and stuff, you can see like over the last like 10, 12 years of like the posts of like Carol and stuff like she said about my facility or like posts
Right.
where I've debunked things.
Yeah, I saw
So that has everything on there.
I went through and saw those because you were really a target for quite a while. You were a pretty big target that they were targeting. I mean, it's
Yeah,
no
I was
joke.
one of her top. I want to say it was her top 10. It was either her top 5 or top 10. So it was me, or obviously it was Joe was number 1, and then it was like Doc Antel, Tim Stark. I think Woody might have been on there, and then I think it was me. So I was like one of the like top 5, and then the like closer me and Joe grew, like the worse it just got. So I went from being like almost the same as Joe. It was any event I went to, she was sending mass amounts of emails.
And how old were you at the time when they were targeting you?
I think the first like public post that she made that actually like named me on her own site was when I was 16, when I was sleeping with the tiger, I believe. And that was when she was insinuating to her followers how incredibly dangerous it was and irresponsible of my parents. And then that's when like the petition got started. Like I don't think the petition was started by them, but it was definitely like their like supporters, and it was insinuated by them about like how dangerous it is that I was, handling this big cat to try to have me removed from CPS. So like she was literally on every single news thread that posted about me, saying how reckless this was and dangerous, and it was child endangerment.
And you were
I think those
16.
screenshots are on my Facebook.
You were
Yeah,
16.
I think I was 16. I was definitely under 18. I was still a minor when it all started happening.
Wow.
So I want to say like 16, 17 was when she started to name me off. And then that's when I met Joe, was after she had posted about me. Joe sent me a friend request and like explained who he was and what Carol's been doing to him. But I've known who Carol was forever. I mean, she's been after my family for a very long time. She used to do dealings with a person who's my neighbor, and he had big cats. He was a circus trainer, which was pretty crazy that she would hire him for things. But like, for instance, all the fencing that built my compounds for my tigers in Florida were all fencing that was donated to her facility for free to expand her cages, and she turned around and sold it to my neighbor for I don't even know what she sold it for. It wasn't very much. And we bought it. We got it from him. So my dad actually physically went to Big Cat Rescue, picked up all the stuff, and that was back when she had a guy named Scott Lope working for her. And that's how dumb she is. Like, you sold me my fencing to house my tigers. You donated fencing and some other shady things.
Right.
So.
Yeah. So 16, you're just a kid. Now, someone commented, and I don't think you can read the comments, but this child endangerment thing, someone commented, Nosy Rendon said, how is it not child endangerment letting your 12-year-old live alone? So, the story about Jamie living on her own at the age of 12, right?
Yeah, she lived in a trailer on the other side of the property because she wasn't allowed to live in the house.
Right. And then...
Yeah, she was a terrible mother. That's why on Dancing with the Stars when she cried and she said she just wants her daughter to be proud of her, I'm like, I wouldn't be proud of my mother who made me live in a trailer at 12 years old and cook my own dinner. And yeah.
And then you give your kid a panther?
Yeah.
I mean...
She wasn't very motherly at all.
I agree with you there. I agree. Well, all right. Felicia, thank you for coming on here. I've been wanting to get you on the channel for a long time. I've been bugging you for a while. So thank you for coming on here. Teen Tiger Mom 93 is where they can find you on Instagram. And then I'll have one of my moderators get your Facebook link and post in the chat here so people can follow you.
Okay, yeah. If Sherry's still in the chat, just tell her it's my Felicia Frisha one.
Okay.
It's the one posted in the group that's always about Carol. I think I have a red shirt and a tiger in my picture.
Okay, it's the one that it looks like Frisco, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like FRISCIA.
Right. Okay. All right. I'll tell Sherry to post it. Sherry, you got to do something now. All right. I'll let you get back to your party.
All right.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I love that girl. I'm not kidding you. Oh, hold on. I just got a text from someone else I was trying to get a hold of today. Let's see here. Oh. All right, so it looks like I'll be back on Saturday. Maybe. So Nosy, remember, Nosy and Carrie, earlier in the chat, I told you I left 2 voicemails for people. But the first voicemail that I left, the initials DH. So he's gotten back to me. And I think Saturday we're a go on that, but we'll make sure before I go there. All right, let me pull up this government channel, and thank you for posting Felicia's Facebook page. There it is right there. It's been posted. And this is someone who's been working with cats since they were 5 years old. And it sounds like not all you need, but shut up, Nosy. You need to use some common sense with some of this stuff. That's not all you need, but you really shouldn't have cages where you have to stick your hands inside of them, especially if you're not building relationships with these animals. I mean, it wouldn't be any different than my dogs. If you stick your hand in the fence where my 2 German Shepherds are, it's not going to matter. I mean, now if I put a clip on my fence gate, then it's okay. Hold on, I'm gonna see if I can get someone else to come on with this. We might as well, and let me pull up this. Let me see where they're at on the voting stuff. Give me a second here. Let's get caught up. Whoop. Someone's who's putting Donald Trump stuff up? Are you kidding me? Oh my. It doesn't matter. Any live thing that I go look at on YouTube, there's always Trump stuff. But here's what I want to do. I want to talk about James Garretson for a minute. He's got these shirts that say Baskin for Prison 2021. Feel free to put that in the chat. Baskin for Prison 2021. I'm just saying. All right, hold on. Let me get this thing back up over here. I don't know where they're at. Oh, they're still on 1244. They're still on that same one. And hey, Nosy, I've got a Lyrie shirt that Laura had sent to you, but she sent it here, so I guess, I don't know, you didn't want her, Sherry, you suck too. I guess you didn't want her having your address. Sweet Laura Buck, and you wouldn't give her your address. No, I don't know if that's why she sent it here or if she sent it with others. I don't know. All right, let me get this thing back up here and let's get caught up. Let's see what they're voting on now. No, it's still the 1244. So they haven't gone to the next one yet. It's the same stuff. It's still here, so I don't know what's up with that. Oh man. Let me see what they're talking about. And wasn't Felicia great? I mean, she had really good information. All right, yep, they're still on 1244. Oh, are we going to have to stay here the whole time? Let's see if we can get any updates. What are the updates on the attack? I did see, I think it was 400 and some odd stitches earlier. I did here, you know what? Let me read to you I'm going to read to you a comment that someone posted on a site. Maybe I'll just find it and I'll put it up so everybody can read it. But this is someone that says Kemba's rabies and other vaccines are all up to date. This sounded like someone that maybe works out there or is a volunteer out there, but they did an update, and then at the end it says, if you don't like seeing big cats in cages, there is still time to contact your government rep. So let me post this message because this was on CBS's Facebook page. So I'm just going to post it on here. Give me a second. I'll email it to myself. And then I'll put it on here so everybody can see. And some of you, you'll probably know who this person is because they're hold on here. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's not a real person. I mean, Sherry's asking about... All right, so let's pull them up. Let's see if it's someone that is one of these... I don't know anything. I don't know about rabies. Do they not get rabies vaccinations? I love Sherry commenting in there that quarantine. What are you talking about quarantine? They're alone in a cage already, you dumbass. I'm quoting. All right, let me pull up this and we'll find out. Maybe it's a fake name. Yes, Pauline, yes. Sorry, I got to respond to that. You can hear, can you guys hear these dogs barking? I hope there's not anybody out there sticking their hand through the fence. I have the clip. On the fence. That's a universal sign for don't do it. Hello, Judy Watson. All right, well, I'm going to put this up and you guys that are experts, you can look at this and laugh at it. You give me a second here. Oh, hold up a second. All right, let me pull this up. All right, hold on. Who's asking? All right, Peyton, this 1244 is the cannabis bill, the marijuana to decriminalize cannabis. And hey, Nosy and Elijah, Elijah, feel free to email Nosy, but Elijah, please don't put anything out there. The stuff that you sent me, I don't want it out in public. I would like to actually, well, I'll call you. I saw your number, but I'll call you and I'll explain why I say that. All right, let me get this thing up real quick. All right, so here's here's what was posted, and I guess Judy, it's going to be hard to see, but let's see. I don't think yeah, okay, here we go. Wow, we can see it now, can't we? It's not going to let me scroll? Seriously? What the heck? All right, here we go. Updates. I'll just read it to you. Hey, Ariel, I got your one email like a week ago, or your message a week ago, and I haven't had time to respond because I've got, I don't know, 300 or 400 messages in that place where you sent that. But if you text me, I gave you my number. If you text me, that would be better. Okay. Oh, just a second here. I want to put the name of the person. All right, so there's the name up there. Updates. All right, first it says, for anyone that has a heart and cares. Candy's husband reports that she is going into surgery soon. She can move her fingers and her arm is broken in 3 places. Her shoulder is badly damaged though. She is conscious but sedated, and when the Florida wildlife officers visited her, they said she was able to tell them what happened, which is what she told our volunteers who responded to the scene. So are they saying that the story matched? Why would you put that out there? Why would you say that? That's odd that you would throw that in there. All right, here we go. This is Sherry, Judy, and you guys can speak up here, and whoever else. But it says Kimba, tigers, rabies, and other vaccines are all up to date, but he's being kept on quarantine for 30 days anyway to keep an eye on him. And now it says, if you don't like seeing big cats in cages, there's still time to contact your governor, reps, and ask them to support the Big Cat Public Safety Act. Ironic that they are supposed to vote today, and then they put the link in there where you can go see it. And oh, I really screwed up this screen for whatever reason. But anyway, that's the person, and why I have this all screwed up, I have no idea. Anyway, that's the message, and I find it very odd that because it's a screenshot and I couldn't scroll. I get it now. My gosh. So I find it really odd that someone would make a comment like that on a news channel's Facebook page. You've got someone that's been injured, but the one thing that's odd is, you know, they say the statement that they gave to the Florida Fish and Wildlife people was the same thing they told our volunteers. That's just weird. I don't understand why someone would add that in. And then you throw in this, if you don't like people being attacked, go see your, well, that's not what they said. If you don't like seeing cats in cages, go to this website, which it was the bigcatact.com website. All right, so Sherry's probably right. You wouldn't say you're up to date on rabies. So whoever posted that, you guys got the name? It's probably a fake account. It's probably one of the hired trolls or minions or whatever that go out and put out false information. That's probably what it is, and you put it on these news sites, and it's how to get the word out, I guess. But I will But Nosy, Susan doesn't work for Carol anymore, remember? And someone did ask if there was any updates on the distemper shot for Carol. I've not heard of any updates on that. I'm not sure she's had her distemper shots yet. All right, good question. Let me try calling one more time, but I think I'm being stood up. And that's okay. That's fine. That's all right, because if I would have known before, I would have just posted a message in my little community thing saying my hip hurts too bad. I'm not gonna come on the thing this evening. And had I done that, I would not have gotten to spoke to Felicia or Peggy or the person we have, which I'm not going to say their name, the person that spent 2 hours over at Big Cat Rescue today on the ground, because we don't want their identity out there for numerous reasons. So to answer your question, no. No, the person I thought that could tell us what that kind of experience was like of getting your arm pulled on by a large cat is not going to come on, apparently. They're not answering my call. That's fine. That's all right. If I had to pick right now, I would take Felicia, because the stuff that Felicia, the information she gave us, I think was really good information. I did. I texted earlier, and never got a response. And I've called twice. No answer. That's all I can do. No, Sherry, you didn't, because I had called before that question came up, and I texted before also. And I kind of had a feeling when I texted and didn't get a response back that it might not happen. So, oh, I'm so tempted. I'm tempted, Nosy. I'm tempted to do that, but I've reached my limit on YouTube for F-bombs and fishnet condoms. I've hit my cap on how many times I Sherry, I hope that's not true. I really hope that's not true. But here's what I heard. A rumor. I heard a rumor that I heard the same rumor that Sherry had me ask Felicia about. I heard the same rumor earlier today, but it named the group, which I think by now you know what? Hold on here. Let me just see. Let's just. I'm going to mute the mic. This is a long shot, but I'm going for it. Hopefully I get a call back. If you're watching, call me back. I just want to talk about I want to talk about how important it is to have relationships with large cats and things that you can talk about. That's all. And I would love to talk about the attack at Big Cat Rescue this morning. If you're watching, call me back. So we'll see. We'll see if I get a call back. Are you? Who else can we call? What other, let's think, what other people have I talked to that were out there that used to work? Let me think, who can I talk to? Oh, wait. Hold on. Whoa, hold on. I might have somebody. Sorry, I am. All right, all right, I'll try one. I'm going to try one more person. Pretend you're drunk dialing. Oh, gosh. I wouldn't have to pretend. I know, Dana. I would love to have Doc Antle come on here. I just don't know if I mean, Doc could, and we can talk about specific things, but I never want to talk with someone who's in the middle of any kind of litigation, really. And Scott Taddick, no way. Hey, Judy, answer your phone. All right, Sherry, I took your advice, but she's not answering. So, Judy, call me. Judy, if you're still watching, call me. Let's talk. Because I want to talk about your place, because I've been out to your place and I saw the way that your cats act. I saw how they acted with people when the volunteers or your workers were out there. So, Judy, give me a call, and let me go through my list one more time and see if there's anybody? I'm scared to have Nosy come on. It would definitely. Should we call the private detective the bounty hunter that was hired? No. Yeah, there's just some people. Oh, no, got to wait on that. I might find someone here that. Oh, no, I can't. I'm afraid if I call a couple of these people, they might say something that we don't want out yet. So I'm a little worried about that. But all right, then I warned you guys. Don't say I didn't warn you.
Easy right now.
All right, you're live. I hope you're not working.
Hold on. Hold on. How you doing? Hello?
All right, yeah, I'm here.
Hi. I can't read anything as I'm talking.
You don't need to read. I'll tell you what people are saying. All right, so you guys wanted me to call Nosy. So I got Nosy on here. What questions do you have for Nosy Wren?
Hello.
Yeah, I'm not going to read all of these comments. What happened? Are you at a concert?
No, I'm arranging my Bluetooth because I wasn't prepared.
Uh-huh. Well.
So I'm good. What's up, everybody?
Let's see. No, we're not calling Florida Fish and Wildlife. That's what Elijah is asking. Everybody's saying hi. Hi, Nosy. Hi, Nosy. Hey, Nosy.
Oh, I can read now. I'm good.
Okay, so you can see it.
Right as you called me, I said we should call Howie. We could call Jamie. Let's call Susan Bass. We could call a whole lot of people.
I know, but tell us what you think about the attack out at Big Cat Rescue this morning.
Well, I'm just like you guys. I think it's crazy, but Felicia. Oh, I got an incoming call. Hold on. Felicia makes a really great point. With any business, at the end of the day, the owner is responsible for whatever, guidelines are put in place, whatever trainings put in place, whatever anything about a business or a nonprofit or whatever you're operating is put in place comes down to the owner. And could I really see Carol in the middle of something like this, setting up something like this to benefit her ultimate goal? It would blow my mind, but I can totally see it playing out. For this lady's sake, I hope that's not the case, and I hope that us talking about Carol possibly being capable of doing something like that, people don't take that the wrong way either, because I feel horrible for this woman. I mean, she's probably someone's grandma or something.
Yeah, she's a real person. And as I said earlier today, that even the fact that we're thinking about it and talking about that this could have been a setup is disgusting, that we would even think about it. But when you know as much as we know, it wouldn't be surprising or shocking if it were true. That's the scary thing. That it
right. And then I take into account, she obviously knows that we're watching her and everything she does like a hawk, and I just can't imagine her trying to pull something off like that. I mean, but just damn, the date and the timing, and it's just unbelievable, really. It really is unbelievable that it happened on this very day.
I know. It really is. If what people say is true, that the real reason for this to happen is to create a monopoly, just think of all the money that would be generated in the future. Like, how much could you pay someone? You know, if this gets passed, this could change someone's revenue stream by, hundreds of millions of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be a good investment to pay someone $1 million to, hey, go get your finger bit off. And I'm not saying that happened. I'm not saying that happened. Just saying it would be a really good investment. And
and especially someone who is elder, that this sounds so horrible, God, but
then don't say
someone
it.
that is elder versus someone who is much younger that has an entire life ahead of them versus someone who has lived their life for the most part, and it would benefit Carol a lot to choose someone like that. So I'm very torn because I'm a very critical thinker, and I'm thinking in Carol's mind all the pros of her doing this, then I'm thinking all the cons of her doing it, and then it's just even though we know what she's done in the past, it would really shock me if she set something up like this.
It would be unbelievable, but it wouldn't shock me.
Hold on. Someone just said, what is 1380? What are they voting on now? Is it 1380 now?
Oh, it is. 1380 is the thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, let me turn the sound. Let me turn the sound on. Give me a second here. Let me get the sound on this thing.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if I could consider something like this a coincidence, Crystal. I really don't.
8-0.
All right, let me see what they're saying. I just turned the sound on. Let me see what.
The gentleman from New York rise. Then we'll do that. What purpose is the gentleman from New York rise?
Madam Speaker, as the member designated by Representative Lowy, pursuant to H.Res. 965, I inform the House that Representative Lowy will vote aye on H.R. 1380.
And does it have? Now we need Peggy. Does it have to be
What purpose is the gentlelady
two-thirds?
from Michigan rise?
Does it have to?
Yes.
You have
As
to
the
get
member
2/3 of the votes
designated by Dr.
for it to
Ruiz
pass.
of California, pursuant to
Okay, so
H.R.S. 965,
right now it's
I
not
inform the House
2/3.
that Mr. Ruiz will vote
I don't
aye
think-
on H.R.
If it was
1380.
66
As
to
the member
33, that
designated
would
by
be
Ms.
2/3.
Kepler of
Let me look
Ohio,
to see where
pursuant
they're
to
at.
H.R.S. 965, I inform the
Yeah,
House
that's
that Ms.
someone just
Kepler
said.
will vote aye on
that's another
H.R.
point. Like, even if it
1380.
does pass in this phase, it's not going to make it up to Donald Trump, and Donald Trump put his signature on it before January 20th, and then turn around and pardon Joe. I just don't see that happening.
Right.
I feel like Joe has had a big enough push. Trump
40.
has mentioned his name. Don Jr. has mentioned his name. The pardon tour, Tiger team, and all that.
Illinois rise.
They've made a big
Madam
enough
Speaker,
scene
as the
in
member
Trump's,
designated by Mr.
way
Grijalva
that
of
Trump
Arizona,
knows who Joe
pursuant
Exotic
to
is,
H.R.S.
and
965, I inform
Don
the House
Jr.
that
has
Mr.
already came out and
Grijalva
been like,
will vote
well,
yes
yeah,
on
basically,
H.R.
she killed her husband, not in
1380.
those exact words, but Big Cat Rescue Safety Act, or whatever the hell it's called, is not going to land
Purpose
Trump's
is the
desk
gentleman
along
from
with Joe
Illinois
Exotic's
rise.
pardon and pass over
As
Joe's
the member
pardon.
designated by Mr. Schneider, pursuant
Right.
to
My
House
opinion,
Res.
but-
965, I inform the House that Congressman Schneider will vote yes on H.R. 1380.
All right, it's 131 to 71.
Oh, damn.
Right now.
What purpose is the gentleman from Arizona rise?
It's pretty
As the member
close,
designated by Mr.
but
Patrick,
this would
pursuant to
be.
H.R.S. 965, I inform the
Oh
House
wait,
that Mr.
hold on.
Patrick
Yeah, isn't it
will
1380?
vote yes.
Let me
on
look it
H.R.
up.
1380.
Yeah, because I thought 13. It was 1380. That's what they're voting on now.
I agree. I think a lot of the people that are in there voting are clueless, and they really have no idea what this is about, because think about it. It's just like before we ever got involved in this. I mean, even up until a week ago, we've learned a ton in the last week, but we stayed away from the animal stuff to focus on Dawn. And it's like us walking into the house and being like, oh yeah, hey, by the way, I'm going to vote for this real quick, even though I don't know anything about exotics or, anything. And I don't think it just shouldn't be that way.
Right. People aren't
For what purpose is
informed
the gentlelady from Illinois?
Right.
for sure.
As a member designated by Mr. Rush pursuant to HRES 965, I inform the House that Mr. Rush will vote yes
See, I'm
on
trying,
HR
1380. I'm trying to do math to figure out what 2/3. It's
Well,
one.
I can't play your live stream as I talk to you, otherwise it'll overlap.
Okay. Here, why don't
Hey,
you
from
want to go and
Massachusetts
then
Rise.
we can.
Madam Speaker, as the member designated by Ms.
we can
Presley of
listen
Massachusetts pursuant to House
to it, 'cause I don't
Resolution
have my
965, I
earphones in, but
inform
I
the
wouldn't
House
mind
that Ms.
listening to what
Presley will
people are
vote
saying,
yea
and
on HR 1380.
I'll get Peggy back on the phone. Did you already hang up on me? I think she hung up.
This is the gentlelady from Texas, Rise.
Oh, there you are.
Madam
Okay.
Speaker, as
I'll
a member
say bye to
designated by
everyone,
Ms.
and I'll talk to
Escobar
you
of
soon.
Texas,
All right.
pursuant to
All
House
right. We'll talk to you
Resolution
later. All right. Bye-bye.
965, I inform the House that Ms. Escobar will vote
All right,
yes
so this
on
is,
House
they are
Resolution
voting on the 1380, which is the
Madam
big
Speaker,
cat.
as a member designated by
Act.
Ms. Robal Allard of California, pursuant to the House Resolution 965, I inform the House that Ms. Robal Allard will vote yes on HR 1380. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
What purpose is the gentlelady from California?
All right, let me see if I
Rise?
can get Peggy back
Madam
on here.
Speaker, as a member designated by Mr. DeSaulnier pursuant to HRES 965, I inform the House that Mr. DeSaulnier will vote yes on HR 1380.
All right. Hey, can you talk again? Yeah. Okay, so you see they're voting on it, right?
The gentlelady from
All right,
Florida,
I'm going to put you on
Rise.
speaker, okay?
As a member designated by Ms. Castro pursuant to House
All right,
Resolution
so I think earlier you said
965,
that
I inform the House
to
that
pass
Ms.
it has to have
Castro will vote
2/3.
yes on
Is that
HR
right?
1380.
That's what,
As the
that's
member
what they're saying right
designated
now.
for
And,
Mr.
I'm looking at the
Lawson
screen right now with
pursuant to House
164
Resolution
to, like,
965, I inform
but
the
there's
House
still
that Mr. Lawson
100
will
that have
vote
to
yes
vote yet?
on HR
That
1380.
won't vote tonight?
Yeah, they're doing them one by one. They're standing up in front of the mic saying yay or nay.
Uh-huh.
Okay,
Gentlelady from
169, 85
California,
with
Rise.
177 to
As
go. They
member
got 7
designated by
minutes and 57
Representative
seconds
Brian
to go.
Higgins pursuant to HRES 965, I inform the House that Mr. Higgins
It's-
will
looks
vote
like it's gonna
aye
go.
on HR
Yeah,
1380.
there's going to have to be a lot of no's that come up.
Purpose,
Exactly.
purpose,
If-
But this is only
Yeah.
1/3
Yes,
of this bill.
right.
It still has, the Senate hasn't even gone to committee yet, so.
for what purpose is the
Need to work
gentleman from
together.
Pennsylvania, Rise?
Hard.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Yeah, there's some other
As a
steps
member
that need to
designated by
take
Mr.
place, and
Doyle
there,
of Pennsylvania
there needs to be
pursuant
some
to
more
House
exposure
Resolution
on this stuff.
965.
And like
I
I
hereby
said, if
inform
the
the House
Senate
that Mr.
bill
Doyle will vote
is
yes
worded any
on
different than
HR
the House bill,
1380.
then they have to form a committee between the two to come up with common wording to make it the same bill before, and it doesn't go back to either respective electoral representatives. It goes from the committee to the
What
president.
purpose is the
Once
gentlelady from
wording
Connecticut, Rise?
has matched.
As the member
Once it goes
designated
to
by
the
Ms.
final
Wilson
committee
pursuant to
that's made up
HRS
of both the House and
965,
Senate.
I inform the House that Ms.
Okay.
Wilson
Well,
will vote yes
I know the
on
Calvary group
HRS
has,
1380.
they've done some work, but I think they need some help. And I think that, I think we probably have some people that can help.
What purpose is the gentleman
and
from
yeah,
North
these people
Carolina,
don't
Rise?
understand.
Madam Speaker, as a member designated by Mr. Price of North Carolina, pursuant to House Res 965, I inform the House that Mr. Price will vote yes. He will vote yes on HR 1380.
About you can, let me see if I can bring it up.
What purpose is the gentlelady from Florida, Rise?
Madam Speaker, as the member designated by Ms. Mucarsel Powell of Florida pursuant to HRS 965, I inform the House that Ms. Mucarsel Powell will vote yay on
Was
HR
it-
1380.
Was
Madam
it the
Speaker, as
off
the
the
member
cavalry
designated
group?
by Mr. Payne of New
Was it
Jersey
their-
pursuant to
No,
H.R.
something different.
965, I
Okay.
inform the House that Mr. Payne will also vote yea on H.R. 1380.
Okay,
And Madam Speaker, as the member designated by Mr. Hastings of Florida pursuant to H.R. 965, I inform the House that Mr. Hastings will also
Oh,
vote
okay,
yea
so
on
that's
H.R.
something
1380.
different.
There's lots of information, and you can also sign it from there. But you'll see at the bottom, there's videos of how they used to, when the cats were being anesthetized during surgeries and stuff, they would paint the bottom of
What
the
purpose
paws.
does the
Right.
gentleman from Maine
Sell
rise?
it.
The
Madam
cards
Speaker,
or
as a member
papers,
designated by
whatever.
Mr. Lamb
Yes.
pursuant to H.R.S.
From there,
965,
they
I
have
inform
to
the House that
cover
Mr. Lamb will
for
vote
using
yes
that
on
not
H.R.
for profit.
1380.
Yeah,
Amy
exploiting.
has her own Etsy shop that she's exploiting this stuff on.
Right. Yes. Yes.
But there's also really good information in that link, and you also can sign the petition to request an investigation into Big Cat Rescue.
Okay. Hold on a second. Nosy, which volume are you talking about? The one with Peggy and I? Sorry.
What purpose is the
I'm not
gentlelady
paying
from Virginia
attention here,
rise?
but-
Madam Speaker, as a member
I-
designated by
I
Mr.
think they're
McEachin
talking about
pursuant to
that
House
someone needs
Resolution
volume up,
965,
but
I
I
inform the
don't
House
know
that
which-
Mr.
what it's
McEachin will vote yes on
for, 'cause
H.R.
I think I still have the
1380.
volume going on
And
this
as the member
vote thing,
designated by
but-
Ms. Porter pursuant
Anyway,
to
so
House
if you
Resolution
send me,
965, I
did you
inform the
post
House
that
Ms.
in
Porter
the
will
Facebook
vote
group?
yes on H.R. 1380.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I don't think I've seen it, but I haven't
It's
been on the
under
group.
USDA regulation investigation request into Big Cat Rescue. They're looking for 5,000 signs.
What purpose is the
petitions. They
gentleman
have
from
3,012
California
right now.
Madam Speaker,
Okay.
as member
Maybe,
designated by
can you
Congressmember
email that to
Napolitano
me, and then
pursuant
I'll
to House
post the link
Resolution
in
965,
this
I
chat
inform the
right
House
now.
that Congressmember Napolitano will vote yes on H.R. 1380.
Yeah, if you tell me when you email.
I'm afraid, though, today
Is it the last
this
day?
doesn't look good.
What purpose does the gentleman from California rise?
Member designated by Mr. Garamendi pursuant to House Res 965, I inform the House that Mr.
296
Garamendi will vote
to
yes on
135
H.R.
left to vote, 3
1380.
minutes and 27 seconds to go.
So if it was 200 to 100, is that 2/3?
What purpose does the
is
gentleman
that-
from Massachusetts rise?
Because
Good evening, Madam Speaker. As the
100
member
would be
designated
33,
by the Honorable
it'd be
Mr. James
66,
Langevin of Rhode Island,
33.
pursuant to House Resolution
66 to
965.
33.
98.
I would like to inform the House that Mr. Langevin will vote
They've
yes
already
on
got it.
H.R. 1380,
Out of 300
the
people,
Big
they got
Cat
200.
Public Safety Act as
Yeah, all they
amended.
would
Thank
need
you.
out of 300 people, all they would need is 201. It's,
And that's what
is
they've
that
got
right?
right now.
They got 204 to 100.
I have 201 to 98 and still 132 people to vote.
Oh, I must be ahead
It
of
doesn't
you.
mean that everybody will vote either.
Right. Yeah, I think
If they step outside and they don't know the vote is
What
going
purpose
on,
does the
then
gentleman from
they
California
just
rise?
call.
I
As
got
the
you.
member designated by Dr. Barra pursuant to
Rap
House
View
Resolution
saying this bill is
965,
forged.
I inform the House that Dr. Barra votes aye on H.R. 1380.
Oh, goodness.
What purpose does the
Yeah, they've
gentlelady
got
from
it
Washington
already,
State
204 to
rise?
100.
As the member designated by
Yeah, I
Dr.
think
Schreier,
my
pursuant
feed's
to
just a
HRS
little ahead of
965, I
yours,
inform
but
the House that Dr.
that's-
Schreier
you're
will
watching
vote
on
yes
C-SPAN?
on H.R. 1380.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I'm on the government website, which I think
What
they're
purpose
just
does
a
the
little bit
gentlelady from
ahead
New Hampshire
of
rise?
C-SPAN.
Probably.
As the member designated by Ms. Pingree,
So
pursuant
I
to H.R.S.
suggest
965,
pressing the
I inform the
senator,
House that Ms.
because when it
Pingree
comes
will
up, I
vote
don't
yes
know when
on H.R.
Go into
1380.
committee or if they
As the
formed a
member
committee for
designated
it.
by Ms. Lee, pursuant to H.R.S.
I guess the push
965,
would be now
I
to
inform
get
the
them
House
before
that
they
Ms.
even
Lee
form it.
will vote yes on
Yeah.
H.R.
I think that
1380.
should be the plan.
As the member designated
And
by
here,
Mr.
normally I
Kennedy,
wouldn't even get
pursuant to
involved in
HRS
something like this, but
965,
as I was
inform the House that
as
Mr.
I was
Kennedy
talking
will
to
vote
Tim
yes
Stark
on
earlier
HR
today, this morning,
1380.
and
as
you know
the member
you
designated by Ms. Mang,
you have
pursuant
to
to
cut
HRS
the head off of the
965,
snake so
I
it
inform
can't
the House that
eat
Ms.
or
Mang will
kill.
vote yes
But
on
there's
HR
revenue streams
1380.
that need to be removed from certain people, and if this helps someone's revenue stream who has gotten away with murder, They don't need this
What
revenue
purpose
stream, but
does the
if this
gentlelady
is a
from Pennsylvania
possible
rise?
way for this
As
to
the member
increase someone's
designated by
revenue
Ms.
stream
Spear,
that
pursuant to H-Res
is gonna have a
965, I inform the House that Ms. Spear will vote yea
trial,
on H.R.
you
1380.
just don't want them to have a large revenue stream.
Right.
That's,
Purpose-
that's all, that's
Well,
all.
the
I'll-
other thing
the
during
gentleman
this
from
pandemic,
Michigan
there's so
rise?
many people suffering that
Madam
are
Speaker,
small
as the
business
member
owners, this
designated
should be
by
a
Mr.
push to
Peters
help
of
these people.
California, pursuant to H.R.
And
it's
965, I
funded
inform the
by
House that Mr. Peters will
Yeah.
vote yes on H.R.
Yeah, it's just the
1380.
opposite.
funded by.
Yes.
As the member
yeah,
designated
it's
by
just the
Mr. Thompson
opposite.
of California, pursuant to H.R.
Is what it is.
965, I inform the House that
Well,
Mr.
on a
Thompson will
positive
vote yes
note,
on H.R. 1380.
On a positive note, my new Xbox will be delivered tomorrow. I thought it was lost, so for those of you wondering, I will be nursing my hip for the next few days with this new Xbox. All right. Oh, okay. So this.
What purpose does the gentleman from New York rise?
Hold on here.
As the
Let
member
me-
designated by
I see what
Chairwoman
they're
Eddie
talking
Bernice
about.
Johnson, pursuant to H.Res. 965.
Hold on. Let's do this and this. All right. I just turned the audio off on the government feed because I think the
Okay,
stuff
we
that
need to find out the guy who stood up and was opposing the bill.
he's from Utah.
That's who we need to be our forefront. No, was he Utah?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that was the guy from Utah. From that.
Someone needs to be in touch with him and really push, how do we stop this?
Right. Yes. All right. So when this is over, we can go back and find out who that guy is, and it won't be that hard to get a hold of him. And that's all I'll say. I mean, yes, that guy needs to be talked to, and we're gonna have to do some lobbying. We're gonna have to do some
Exactly.
lobbying. I mean, I can't believe it, but we are. We're gonna have to do some lobbying to help these people, and yeah.
Right.
So
Until the other side of this can drop, you've got to take care of the legislative part of it.
yes, and we need to help. We need to help these small business
okay, the time
people.
is done. It's 226 to 103, and 102 people never voted.
Yeah, it's 233 to
So
104.
it's passed. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it will pass here, but that's not the end of the road.
Nope.
So don't worry, everybody.
Dig in
There's
a little more, right?
there's still things that can be done. So don't worry. We just have to get organized, and we need to help.
Right. Rally the troops.
That's right. We need to help. There's a lot of things going on behind the scenes. And like you said, and I said, this is not something I would normally get involved in, but this will help cut off the head of the snake, I think. We've got to help some of these people. We just have to. So we will.
Absolutely.
So we'll get organized, and we will.
Oh wait,
will.
the votes are still coming in. It's still not going to change it.
No, they're getting a.
It's 237 to 105.
Yeah, they're slowly getting a
ain't gonna
bigger
change it, though.
lead. So, all right. Well, that's all right. We'll rally the troops, and we'll get people together, and we'll get a plan. We'll get a plan to help.
It ain't over till it's over.
That's right. That's exactly right. So we'll figure something out, everybody. All right.
Be strong. It's not done.
Yeah, it'll be all right. And we'll get old Chad. This will be one of Chad's projects.
Yes, the better that the animal community can band together
That's right.
and attack from that side, our side, all sides.
Yeah. We should be able to do that. All right. Well, Peggy, thanks for coming on here unannounced and
No problem.
you know.
Anytime.
All right. Take care. Have a good evening. Stay safe.
You guys have a good night. You
All
too.
right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. So this still has to go. There's more votes There's more votes. Still? Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Okay, good. So like Peggy said, this is just one step in many steps. But it's got to get through this step first. So I think we have enough talented people where we can get something set up. We need to talk to the guy, I think he was from Utah, the guy that was wearing the nice suit that said that you don't make laws based off of reality shows. We need to reach out to him and talk to that guy and do some work. I won't have a lot of time to do this, but I will help because, as you guys know, I'm knee deep in some other stuff. Okay, hey Linda, just message me on Twitter. Send me a message on Twitter or Facebook. I think you have me on Twitter. Oh, and I think Mrs. Ripper's home, so I'm going to go. And Elijah, I got your email. I saw your number. I will call you tomorrow and we will talk about what you sent me. And before I go, let's just, did anyone hear any updates about the attack this morning? Any updates at all? The last thing I've heard was maybe 500 to 600 stitches. That's kind of the last thing I've heard. Go look busy. Yeah, because all right, Ariel, because Mrs. Ripper will she'll never see this stream at all. Oh. All right, so someone said, do you want me to form a committee? I think what we need to do is Chad isn't, I haven't seen Chad on the chat here, but I think some of the stuff that Chad is working on can be mixed into this project here as well. So I think we need to I'll have Chad come on the channel. Man, I don't know. Today's Thursday, maybe Saturday or Sunday. I'll get Chad to come on and we'll get a place where everybody can go, like a Facebook group for what Chad is doing. And then we need to get someone from the Calvary group as well, because they've already put a lot of work into this thing. But we've got to help these people that are working on this stuff already. We need to help them. And I think it's the right thing to do. I think it's the right thing to do. We help them. Yeah, so whoever said, do you want me to get... Oh, wait, all right, hold on here. Let's see what this update is from Bridget. Let's see if I have it here. If I can find it. I have... oh... Yeah, I'll never find it. It's going to take me a while to find it. Yeah, so I'll find it in a little bit, but I'll get Chad on over the weekend. I'm just thinking how I'm not going to think about it on here. Things are going through my head of how to put all this stuff together, but I don't have to do it right here. I'll go ahead and go, and we'll get, oh, here we go. All right. So I'm writing notes down. All right, so if you don't have Discord, you probably want to get Discord if you want to help, because Discord is actually a really great place to organize things. You can do a lot with it. So it's an app. It's just download Discord. It's kind of hard to figure out at first, but it's a pretty good tool to have. So I'll come back Saturday or Sunday, and we will have some things in place so that people can start helping. That's the right thing to do. All right, everybody. I'm going to go now. Today's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, maybe Sunday. I don't know. We're going to find out. Tomorrow my hip's going to be really bad. But maybe if I can do it Saturday or Sunday, I'll come back. We'll bring Chad on. I got someone else that I want to bring on, hopefully. And we'll see if we can get some things set up so that when I come back Saturday or Sunday, there's a place where people can go and we can get organized and get a plan of action together to help these people. All right, everybody. To the people that came on the channel this morning and this afternoon, thanks very much for being here. It's been a long day, and I think something good will come out of some of this stuff. And I hope that Candy has a full recovery. I hope that she did not lose an arm. I hope, oh man, I hope she doesn't have nightmares tonight while she's sleeping. I just hate to think of the pain that lady's in right now. Even if she's on morphine or whatever, she's still going to be in pain. It's horrible. So anyway, all right, everybody, have a good evening. If I don't come back on the weekends because I'm Xboxing too much. I'm just kidding. All right, everybody, stay safe. I'm Ripper, and I'm out.